Hello, welcome back to episode of Three Guys on Mic. My name is Jeremiah. Join my two co-hosts here,
William,
Aaron. And have you guys heard about us? Whether that be Instagram, Twitter, or our new TikToks. Thank you so much for clicking on the video and giving it a view. So as we all know here, NFL free agency kicks off the 17th. So we're recording this, March 11th, 2021 on a Thursday afternoon. And there's been a lot of moving pieces. Things are going really fast. So we're going to take this episode and slow it down, talk about some of our favorite signings, people who have been cut or just even some players who come out of retirement, okay? So, Willie, I'm going to open up the floor to you.
Okay.
What's a big one for you here? A lot of franchise tags, Okay. Yeah.
Well, I feel like I want to involve our other co-host, Aaron, in this one. But as you know, Dak Prescott signed a huge contract, 4 years, $160 million. He's set to make $75 million this year.
Yes.
He had a really good 5 games that he played. He had over 1,800 yards, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 68% completion percentage, and throughout his career, he has 42 wins and 27 losses.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a good quarterback, a good fit for that team. With him, you're always in every game with him in it. As we know, he's always like
100%.
A lot of people like to knock his stats, say they're empty stats. But other than that, he's still a really good quarterback. He's still a top 10 talent-wise quarterback. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I want to see what Little Man has to say about this.
Are you just going to throw me under the bus like that quick?
That is your quarterback.
Yeah,
if you are a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, so as you know, he signed a 4-year deal. $66 million signing bonus. I hope for a deal, but, you never know with the NFL. It's a business. Anything can happen.
Sure, yeah.
He could get traded, sign and trade, not get a deal. From the reports I was getting, I honestly didn't think it was going to get done as fast as it did. I thought they were going to wait till maybe like 2 months before the season, like June or something like that. But, he's our leader. And one thing he really does have, Dak, is that whenever he makes a mistake, he just always has his head up. And he always pushes past it. He flushes down the drain. And I think that's why they think he's the future of the team.
Oh, 100%.
His great leadership, considering all the things that he went through.
Yeah.
And, I'm just surprised to see what he has for us in the next 4 years.
Yeah, Dak's definitely a big one. Well-deserved. Kid works his tail off.
Did you guys hear what Michael Irvin said?
What did he say?
He said he's the closest thing to Tom Brady in the NFL.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I don't get the correlation there. I think I think they have two different play styles, but okay. Moving on to a big one. I think this is a brief one here. It's not recent, but J.J. Watt, signed a 2-year deal, as we know, with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
That was a bit of an oddball. Didn't see that one coming. I didn't even know they were in his final circle. I thought it was between the Bills, the Browns, and the Packers.
Yeah.
The Cardinals came out of nowhere. However, looking at the deal, I kind of like it. I kind of like Chandler Jones. He doesn't have to get double teamed. Every time he comes off the line. Now, JJ Watt's opposed him. It's not like 2015 JJ Watt, but it's still JJ Watt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I feel like Kyler Murray can actually be an NFL system quarterback and can actually game plan and not just be stressed and rely on his legs to win him games. You know what I mean? Now he's then not playing from behind as much. I think this impacts him a lot. I agree with the signing. What about you, Will?
The same thoughts that you had, right? You said that we also expected them to sign with the Browns, the Bills, and the Packers.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like it would have made the most sense for him to sign with the Packers.
Yes.
Because that's a team that's in win now mode. They're always ready to win. They're always in the mix. But yeah, looking at it, I actually do agree with this signing. Chandler Jones has had 11 plus sacks in 6 of his 9 seasons. So he's honestly probably the most underrated edge rusher in the NFL.
100%.
I really don't hear anyone talk about him and give him the respect that he deserves. But yeah, JJ Watt. One thing that I just didn't understand is that he was obviously he's at the point in his career where he wants a ring, right? He wants to win. I don't understand why he really went to the NFC West like that, because the NFC West is widely known as the best,
toughest division.
Yeah, the toughest division in the NFL. But I still think, it's not, I don't love that he signed with the Cardinals, but I could respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about it. I just really wanted him to sign with the Packers. I thought it would have made more sense for him to sign with them.
And one thing, since talking about the Packers here, the Packers did reach out to him. They couldn't come up with enough money, create enough cap to sign JJ Watt. That was the big deal. He would have signed there. It just Cardinals gave him the money. Packers couldn't restructure contracts. And they couldn't give it to him. Luma, you could give your thoughts?
Yeah, to me, to be honest, I don't think this was a need for the Cardinals, considering who they have on the D-line. Jordan Phillips, Hassan Reddick. Maybe they're going to let him walk due to J.J. Watt coming. And then Chandler Jones, like Willie said. I think the problem here is that they should have focused more on the secondary, because their secondary was the most penalized team in the NFL last year due to PIs and stuff like that. But hopefully this year they don't have to hold so much, because that pass rush will get there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a healthy Pat Pete too. Okay. Another big one here. Super Bowl champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Some news coming out of Tampa. This week, right? So Chris Godwin gets a franchise tag. I kind of saw that one coming. Mm-hmm. He himself said, "I don't care about the money." You know what I mean? Like he said, "You can save the money. I want to win another ring." You know what I mean? I agree with that one. Levante David and Tom Brady. They're both. Levante David restructures his contract. Tom Brady's in the work. They're restructuring it. He wants a longer contract. In fact, he wants a longer contract. And so and they're gonna save money. Potentially, I'm hearing from the camp inside Tampa to get another star, which is absurd to me.
I saw those reports too.
Yeah, and so we know definitely though the contracts were restructured. They did create more cap. You guys have anything to say about that? I mean, do you guys think it's cheating at this point, or
no? I just think
unfair,
I just think it'll be interesting to see who they go after, considering I really don't know what this team needs. I mean, I guess they can work on some of the secondary, because we saw Carlton Davis get burned a lot, Sean Murphy Bunting get burned a lot. Because I think at the end, when they started improving, is all on Todd Bowles. So I feel like they should go after some secondary help, in my opinion.
Sure.
We saw the list, right, about everyone that's a free agent, right? And in the NFL, it's obviously a business, and it's hard to keep all those guys, right? Especially on a Super Bowl roster. I just don't know how they're gonna re-sign all of them. But I mean, I hope they do. It's honestly, it'll be cool to see them just sign everyone else as a free agent. So
I agree with you. And then one thing I'm learning too, all of us are learning as we become more and more we're developing our craft here. I'm learning that in the NFL for owners now, it's win now.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers aren't gonna have any money in a year from now, but they're gonna have two Super Bowls in 2 years. You know what I mean?
'Cause that's the main goal.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I mean, they're like, win now, I'll suffer later, and I feel like that's where everybody's going with with their signings. And I feel like that's all GMs are doing it. If you want to keep your job, you got to win now. One thing that kind of slid on the radar here, Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson
phenomenal.
Got
he got franchise tag. Phenomenal receiver. You know what I mean? He had talks of going to contender, right? And he get hit with the franchise tag. I think Allen Robinson, I would have loved to see him on, a different team. However, I feel like there's something we don't know. You mean there's something we don't know? I feel like, as we've seen, Cordell Patterson, numerous players on the Bears. Allen Robinson himself wanted to go to the Seahawks, right? I feel like now, for Russell Wilson, right? I feel like now Russell Wilson might come to the Bears. You know what I'm trying to say here? Instead of Allen Robinson going to the Seahawks are coming to him. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's something I want to see. You guys got any thoughts about Allen Robinson there?
Yeah. As you said, he probably knows stuff that we don't.
Exactly.
They probably promised him to draft one of the top quarterbacks in the draft. We don't know.
If not, get Russell Wilson. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we don't know.
Yeah.
He obviously wanted out earlier this year, but they made him stay. So,
so something we don't know.
Yeah, there's something we don't know. So.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I just don't think him going to Seattle would make a ton of sense, because
they're already established.
DK, David Moore, Tyler Lockett.
Sure.
There's obviously something big going on. And if they do get Russ, they still have to revamp that O-line for sure, because that O-line is just
your problems aren't going to get solved.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of O-line here, move on to that one.
Yep.
Eric Fisher, Mitchell Schwartz, both got released. What do you say about that, Levan? Veteran Eric Fisher was a #1 overall pick. You know what I mean?
It's pretty sad to see how his career went.
His career has not been dwindling. You know what I mean? He's still been a productive lineman. I don't get the release. I understand cap casualties. You know what I mean? But you don't cut a former #1 overall pick that secured the O line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If not for the injury, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, that kind of and then now his sources for Eric Fisher saying he wants to go to a contender.
Yeah,
he wants to go to another contender. And I don't doubt it. You know what I mean? At this point, he has nothing left to prove. You know what I mean? He's played 10 years in the league. He's been a solid player, #1 overall pick. He's won a Super Bowl. I feel like he wants to carry on out doing that.
To me, I get he wants to go to a contender, but with the injury that he has, I'm not too sure if anyone's just going to be ready to pick him up right away. Because that injury isn't something that you just get over with.
And then even more offensive linemen here. Brandon Sheriff for the Washington football team. He got the franchise tag, which it's kind of frustrating because he is a dominant lineman. For those of you who actually know O-line, he's a dominant lineman. He he's gone against Aaron Donald in the past, and he's won like 75% of the reps. Like Brandon Sheriff has just been a lockdown guy. He's been ever since he got drafted out of Iowa. He's been the guy for the Washington football team, back then the Redskins. So I don't know why they're hesitant to sign one of the best players on the roster to a long-term contract.
And an underrated offensive lineman.
Yeah, and then
to me he's like a more he's like Quentin Nelson, but Quentin Nelson is more nasty.
He gets the hype though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Brandon Sheriff is all technique and stuff like that. Yeah. That's why I feel like I don't think he gets the love that he actually deserves.
And then also Kyle Long, longtime Bears offensive lineman. He retired last year. He actually unretired now. So he says he's going to play in the 2021 NFL season.
That's crazy.
Moving on to some bigger names here. Right? So I'm going to list them off and we'll talk about them, right? If you want to pick it up, you can pick it up.
Yeah.
Chris Carson, they're not gonna franchise tag. You know what I mean? Kenny Galladay, they're not gonna franchise tag. Hunter Henry, they're not gonna franchise tag. You guys anything to say about those?
For Chris Carson first, I want to say, like, I feel like that's a Seahawk. They need him back, to be honest with you, because he's a good pass blocker when he's back there and he's blocking for us. And I just don't see where else he can be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see where he would fit in. Maybe the Dolphins, but then again, I feel like he would work better there if they got Deshaun, because I feel like him and Tua just wouldn't, like, I don't know. That just seems like, it seems off seeing him not in a Seahawks uniform.
Yeah,
I know he's been in the league for only like 5-6 years, but like he's been having good seasons. It's just the injuries have been dwindling on him.
Yeah, and no, let's not forget. You know what I mean? He would have been healthy the entire season if not for your dirty Cowboys players that twist ankles in piles.
Well, yeah, I mean we all saw what happened to him. The guy who twisted his ankle, Tristan Hill, ended up tearing his ACL. So.
Yeah. And one thing I'm gonna say, with Kenny Galladay and Hunter Henry, I am New England Patriots fan. I see no reason why we don't go after and sign both of those players. It is about time we treat ourselves. It is about time we go to the buffet. Like I don't get it. You know what I mean? Just trade it for Trent Brown. You know what I mean? We have the best O-line we've had in the past 5 years right now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I feel like overnight, Dante Hightower's coming back. You mean with the leader of our defense?
Yeah.
I feel like we just flipped the switch to a win now type of season. That's what I feel. What do you guys feel about that?
I mean, with the disrespectful comments that Hunter Henry put out there saying he actually wants to play with a good quarterback, all things considered, I don't think the Patriots have that yet. I mean, maybe he waits until they draft or sign somebody. So, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. And then the same thing with Kenny Galladay. But then again, I feel like with anybody at quarterback, he can make big plays.
Yeah.
So we'll just see.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah, go on.
I mean, I feel like you guys hit it with all those players, but another running back that I wanted to talk about was Aaron Jones. As you know, Aaron Jones, he never got his franchise tag, so he's now a free agent. And honestly, as we've talked about before, right? The running back position is losing its value, right?
Of course, yeah. It's a plug and play.
Yeah, as we see, I think it was the stat: the last 8 Super Bowl winning running backs, they weren't like on major contracts.
I saw that too.
You know, they were on like 2-3 year deals. They weren't.
I think the highest per year was it was the highest leading rusher. Mm-hmm. It was like $2.5 million. Like $2.5 million was the highest somebody got for the year.
Yeah. So yeah, like I just feel like with the Packers, they looked at guys on the bench, like, or not really on the bench, but guys who were below him on the depth chart in Jamal Williams and AJ Dillon, right?
Yeah.
So so those guys, you could save your money, get maybe the same production out of them, and something like I'm not one to like buy into like the drama and stuff like that, but I think a part of this has to do with that fumble in the NFC Championship game.
No doubt.
Because if you want to pay a guy that much money, if you're in a contract year, right, you can't fumble that ball coming out of halftime, and you want the money when your big players, like, they obviously have to produce in the biggest point. That was the biggest point of their year, and he just fumbled it away. So
he had 2 fumbles, right? But
I think one of them went out of bounds, right, or something like that. Okay. So yeah, and in that game he had 6 rushes, 27 yards. So it wasn't like he was a big part of that offense. I understand they were down by a lot, but still, like, I just don't feel like the Packers, their money could go somewhere else, somewhere where they actually need it, because the running back position for them,
pretty deep.
They're pretty deep, and again, like, they need help on linebackers, another corner, as we saw with Kevin King, and more help on the defensive line. So, and also they want to give Aaron Rodgers more help on the offensive side, because you saw that Devontae Adams, he can't really do it on his own, right? he can have a big year, but he's not gonna in the playoffs. You need someone else to go to. So I think that money could just go anywhere else in that football team.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Moving on here, talk about some cuts, right? Some cuts that have been made, right? Rather than a lot of them. If I miss it, let me know. Starting off, we got Malcolm Butler and Kenny Vicario. Both got cut, right? Kyle Van Noy, surprising cut. Signed to a big contract last season. Dolphins cut him. Kevin Zeiler, who we all know was in a package deal with the Giants and the Browns. You know what I mean? Who's one of the best offensive linemen last year. They didn't want to pay him $12 million for this upcoming season. Cut him. Emanuel Sanders, veteran wide receiver for the Saints. Officially got cut. Adrian Claiborne, DN for the Browns. You mean? He got cut. Carlos Dunlap, right? He got traded over from the Bengals to the Seahawks. They cut him. Golden Tate, veteran wide receiver for the New York Giants. He got cut as well. Kyle Rudolph got cut by the Vikings. You mean? He's a 10-year career with the Vikings. You know what I mean? He single-handedly won him a playoff game. You mean versus the Saints, right? Janoris Jenkins got cut. Any other names you think throwing out there just got cut?
Well, as an Eagles fan, Alshon Jeffrey, that one was kind of big for me because it's something that I feel like was long overdue.
Yes.
That's true.
And I think a potential cut with my team is Zach Ertz.
Okay.
That's the one player I don't want to see go. Like obviously we traded Wentz. That's another player I didn't want to see go. But Zach Ertz has been there pretty much the entire time I was an Eagles fan. And just something about this year, I heard that before the year started, him and Howie Roseman got into it, right? About he wants a bigger contract, and Howie Roseman didn't want to give him one, right? And just since that point, it just seemed off. Like he just didn't seem the same. Like when you would see him on TV, he just didn't have the energy. He just didn't look like the same Zach Ertz that broke the tight end receiving record. You know what I mean?
I remember seeing him on a Sunday night in 2018 as when they were in Philly. He was just going off on the Cowboys, and you could see like after every catch, he was just like pointing at the crowd, doing the first down thing. And it's just I feel like now he just doesn't have that same energy, especially with Carson being dealed off. I feel like he'll end up either in Seattle or Green Bay.
There was talks about him,
it's a sad thing to see players lose their juice. I mean, that's a very sad thing.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say is like the cap. Every NFL team has a different cap, right? It has a different cap space. You mean some teams are worth more than others, right? It's just like and bigger contracts, right? However, I feel like with more and more how teams are going towards like the NFL is a business. As we all know, it's a business, right?
Yeah.
You could have friends and have family, but it's a business. I feel like players are going to start going for guaranteed contracts, 2-3 year contracts with the most money possible. You know what I mean? Like I mean. Throwing this out there, I don't know if we'll ever see a Patrick Mahomes 10-year contract. Like, I don't think we'll ever see that again in the NFL. I don't know. Like, that's kind of...
It's highly unlikely.
I feel like everybody's leaning to a 4-year contract. Like Dak. Dak took a 4-year contract, got a load of money. 4 years from now, he could hit the market again. He's going to be 32, you know what I mean? He's going to be... You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, that Patrick Mahomes deal was just one of a kind, something that we'll probably never see again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like with that contract, that's also something that obviously if you're paying him $500 million, you're gonna have to let go of like some players that are injured. So obviously the Chiefs had to let go of their 2 tackles who had had a history of being injured.
Sure.
So and also with those two being released, they have to have a plan with the draft. They have to. Because there's no way you're gonna release your 2 starting tackles and you don't have any plans.
I definitely agree. Anything else, guys, before we end up
something that I actually forgot about. Our owner Jeffrey Lurie came out and said that he wants to make this offseason dedicated to like Jalen Hurts, right? He's obviously
he wants to build around
him. He wants to build around him. That's something that we kind of knew that he should have been doing, even though those reports came out that the Eagles weren't really sold on Jalen Hurts. I just hope that we don't drop the ball again. We have the 6th pick in this NFL draft. We go a number of ways with who we draft. I just don't want to see another Carson Wentz thing. Just the way we handled it with him, not really giving him any receivers. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I don't want that to happen with Jalen Hurts too, where we don't give him anything and then we draft another quarterback in that room. You know? So I just hope we hit on that. I hope and I don't expect us to win 10 games this year, but I just think this season should be geared towards building new brand, you know what I mean? Because we have a new head coach coming in. And then I think that this season should just be geared towards Jalen Hurts getting those reps and getting prepared.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
I definitely agree. Well, yeah. Lamar, you got anything else to say before we close out?
No, I think we hit pretty important points here.
We hit it all.
And all the cuts, all the free agents and stuff like that. It's gonna be a fun draft in my opinion. I feel like it's gonna be a really interesting one, more than last year. to see where the Super Bowl contenders like the Chiefs, what they want to do with the O-line, what the Cowboys pick,
The Packers
what
are
the
gonna
Patriots are gonna do. Then maybe they go for a tight end, quarterback.
Yeah,
Eagles go
Kyle
for a
Rudolph.
receiver, something like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you know, like I said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Three Guys on the Mic. Like you said, you know, our Instagram, our Twitter, our TikToks, going to be down below. We're recording TikToks weekly, guys. Thank you guys for all the love, all the, you know, the likes, the comments, and the, you know, all of those of you subscribed. Anything else, guys?
Nothing. Just thank you.
There's gonna be a lot of changes coming up, guys. We're getting our own place, guys. We're working on getting like you know, jerseys hung up in the background. You know, it's all gonna start coming together. And we just thank you guys that have been here from the beginning, guys. Thank you.